Welcome back to Now Nintendo, where we cover the latest Nintendo news you should know. And you should know that the Nintendo Switch 2 game cartridges do actually have the iconic notch to differentiate them from Switch 1 games. Ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 was revealed, there has been rumours that the cartridges for the next generation console will feature a notch much like the Nintendo 3DS games did when compared to the original DS cartridges. The idea of this notch is to prevent them being inserted into previously released consoles, such as inserting a 3DS game card into a DS console, not that it would work anyway. The idea of using notches to control compatibility has been used by Nintendo forever. For example, certain Game Boy Color cartridges like Pokemon Crystal and Zelda Oracle of Seasons have this notch to prevent them working on older consoles, unlike the yellow Donkey Kong Land cartridges that were notchless and worked on all Game Boy consoles. Even the Game Boy Advance cartridges use notches to tell Game Boy Advances which generation of Game Boy game was being inserted. Not just that, but Nintendo also used notches to region lock games back in the day, with the classic example being N64 game cartridges only working in certain regions because of the subtle differences in the shape of the cartridges. With this iconic trend throughout the history of Nintendo games, there's no surprise that since the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2, several fan-made mock-ups speculating the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges would follow suit began circulating. However, it's no longer speculation, it's fact. Thanks to Nintendo, who posted a comparison on socials, we now know Nintendo Switch 2 game cartridges will be physically different to Nintendo Switch 1 games. The Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges will not only be red, but include a notch, or more accurately a slight indentation, giving the cartridge a different appearance. So whilst not quite the notch the community thought we'd see, it's a purpose-built variation. Now this will most likely be how the Nintendo Switch 2 itself recognizes a physical Switch 2 cartridge over a Switch 1 cartridge when inserted into the console, so it knows which game it's about to run. However, it doesn't seem like this will stop people trying to insert Nintendo Switch 2 games into older Nintendo Switches, because it's not a protruding notch like we've seen in the past. The good news though is that according to Vice.com, Nintendo has confirmed the taste of the Switch 2 cartridges will still taste as terrible as the original Switch games, with the aim to stop people putting them in their mouths at least. So there's that. Do you think the Donkey Kong Bonanza cartridge will be yellow instead of red? Who knows? But what we do know is that Nintendo just teased some new Donkey Kong abilities. If you want to learn more, check out this next video. Thanks for watching.